Hey everyone, welcome to another video about the motorcycles. So in this video, singular, I improved a lot of things, one of which being I added a suspension, which is very important. The other thing is I made steering to actually work, and I've added acceleration curves using RPM. I basically just copied and pasted the code from the vehicles, master vehicles for the car. So here's a quick look at the set throttle. It's basically the same, with engine acceleration curve and whatnot. The only major difference is that I did some testing, and I did use at first the same as for the master vehicle, applying a torque. Oops, that is not the right function. So applying max angular velocity and applying torque, and that was not good. For the motorcycle, it glitches out a lot if I do it that way. So, if I put the values too high, it would lift the end of the motorcycle, because the torque would kind of try to push against the angular velocity limit, and it would just push the bike upward. So that is not good. So what I did instead is I used the physics constraints, the angular velocity target of the physics constraint. Here you can pretty much decide which axis to use and whatnot. So I've applied how fast I want the wheels spinning on the y-axis here, and then on the angular drive param, which target velocity strength, basically, velocity strength would be the torque. So here's how fast I want my wheels spinning, and here is how much torque I'm willing to apply to that wheel to get to that speed. I don't know why I didn't do that for the cars. I'll probably try that on the vehicles, the cars, and see if that works better. But it does work super well for the motorcycle. So I did that, and I also, set up a suspension, like I said, and got the steering to work. So let's actually have a look at that right now. Now you can see on the top left, that little print string is the linear speed of the motorcycle in kilometers per hour. So, oh shit, it just crashed, of course. I thought I was done with this. It literally did not crash in like 30 minutes, and now it just crashed again. I really need to find a solution to that. Okay, let's all cross our fingers here. Okay, there you got it. So as you can see, it's still wheelies, and you still have, that motorcycle feel to it. Now you can lean and turn. You can't brake just yet, but I'll add that soon enough. So yeah, you can see the suspension at work here, and you can also see that the wheel kind of bounces off weirdly, so I need to address that as well. And it just crashed again. Oh my god. What a surprise. Yeah, if anyone here knows why it crashes so much, please tell me. I'm really eager to know. I installed the 422 preview, and it's even worse. Like, it just crashes instantly when I try to play. Like, I don't even have time to press throttle. It crashes as soon as I hit play. It's ridiculous. So that's that. But yeah, sweet little wheelie. Suspension works. Steering, everything. And you can just crash the motorcycle and stuff and have the driver fall off, which is kind of sweet. Now, of course, the next logical step, if there wasn't so many crashes, would be to allow the player to get back up and go back onto the motorcycle, because that would be super cool, right? But I need to address those crashes at first and get the braking to work, obviously, because that's also a pretty important feature. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I'll remove that from the map to hopefully not get crashes anymore, and I'll try to implement that same constraint forces onto the vehicles instead of the torque and angular velocity maximum, and see if that changes the handling. So, master vehicle. Alright. Set throttle right here. So I don't want to get rid of this. What I want to do is just leave it aside in case I need to come back to it. Then I'll need the wheel constraints right here. I want to get the constraint of the index here, I'm guessing, just like I get wheel structure from that index. No. Yeah, alright, okay. So has applied torque is true, okay. So if that's the case, then set angular, set angular drive params, velocity strength, okay, that should be the torque. So what I'm gonna do is get that into the velocity strength, and I also want to get angular, set angular velocity target. I want to split that and put something in the Y, which is going to be that right here, and then hook those up like so back onto here. Okay, now of course if I want to do it like that, I need the wheel constraints. Wheel constraint add, so that's the one. I want this to have angular motor, and it seems it already does. Twist and swing, okay. So if I try that now, it should do something, hopefully. And it does not. Oh, it actually goes backward. That's right. I had the same thing with the motorcycle. I need to actually multiply that by -1 in order to get it to go in the right direction. Right here, as far as torque is concerned, that is not the right value. That's the one I want here, multiplied by that. Like so, yeah. Alright, so I now have the right amount of torque. Sorry about that, it's totally improvised. I did not plan that ahead before making the video, so... Okay, now what does that look like? Whoa! Okay, that's pretty crazy. Okay, alright. So how about... Oh yeah, I was supposed to multiply that by -1, and I multiplied it by 1 instead, hence making the multiplication useless. Okay, now the Beetle does wheelie as well, so I'm assuming that is way too much torque. Okay, then that's an easy fix. I'll just add a temporary multiplier to reduce the torque a bit. I like where this is going. So I just multiplied the torque by 0.1, effectively making it 10 times smaller, and it still wheelies. Okay, what is going on? I think my engine torque is like probably way too high, but I don't want to mess everything up, so I'll just add more zeros for the time being. Sweet Jesus. Okay, a lot of torque. And yeah, not really optimal. If I'm in the air, it still applies the torque and spin the car. Now, on the motorcycle, I had to actually reverse the constraint component. So let's go right here, constraint component, right there. I should probably like reverse those. Actually, mesh is body is first and wheel is second. No, okay, wheel is first and body is second. Is that what I did on the motorcycle? Wheel is first, body is second. Okay, so that's the right way to put it. I guess I'll just have to make the torque crazy smaller, and probably like the angular velocity as well. So okay, let's give this another try. Oh, that's better. So this gives me a much similar result to what I was having. That would be 77 km/h in second gear, which is quite a bit. Oh wow, 100 km in third. I might need to nerf that a bit still. Whoa, and it wheelies again in fourth gear. Okay, now that I've multiplied the target velocity, if I press the throttle and the wheels aren't on the ground, the car isn't like spinning like crazy. So that's good. So then I guess this would be good for the car as well, using the constraint instead of applying external forces like this. Now I'll have to do some testing, see if that helps performance, if it makes it more stable or whatever, because that's what I use for the brakes, of course. So it would make sense to use the exact same technique for the throttle. Now if I go into the braking input, set brake input, you can see set angular drive param. So yeah, I use that for the braking, might as well use it for the accelerating since it works so well. I kind of like that it wants to wheelie a lot. Let's actually try the Camaro with this. Let's see what happens. Now you can really see those gear shiftings in the cockpit view. Alright, didn't seem to do any wheelies when it shifted in fourth gear. And you can see before that the wheels were kind of always slipping, you know. Now with this slight adjustment, it seems to be much less slippery. There's a lot less overspinning, especially in the last few gears. Whew, alright. That was a close call. So you can see here, still a pretty big margin. But again, I could apply smart throttle to get rid of that. But it makes the camera jittery. I need to address that as well. And as you can see, there is no crashes so long as I'm driving, you know, the normal vehicle class I made. So it's really something to do with the motorcycle. There's something in that code here that the engine doesn't like. And I can't seem to figure out what it is, because it's pretty much the same as, you know, the master vehicle class. I don't know why it causes any trouble at all. But yeah, back onto the motorcycle. Now if I just save everything. Okay, the only difference I can see is the way I possess it. But again, that's no reason to crash the engine. Because this motorcycle is not a child of the master vehicle class. It's a master class of its own, and it's quite buggy for now. But yeah, now you can steer it at least. And actually accelerate. Okay, it just crashed again. Now that's the second time that it crashes when I eject the player. So I probably need to investigate that bit of code and see what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, that's it. That's all for today. Just wanted to quickly update you on the progress with motorcycle. So there you go. That's the progress I made. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.